I invite you to slow down, or maybe even stop what you're doing and listen to a campfire story. We're sitting in the snow by the Preston River in Duhamel, Québec. Now the snow here absorbs the sound, but it's also slightly amplified by the cottage and the nearby frozen trees. It's raining a bit, so you also hear drops of water, snow, and ice falling in between the fire crackles. Now sometimes when I get discouraged about the ecological crisis, the climate emergency, and so on, I come to the cottage and I build a campfire like this one to lift my spirits and re-energize. Now, campfires are a great place to tell and to listen to stories because they engage our emotions. So today's story is an excerpt from my conversation with climate photographer Joan Sullivan from episode 96, The Liminal Space Between What Was and What's Next. The story begins with Joan taking photographs during the winter by the St. Lawrence River in Quebec near Rimouski.
If you've ever stood on the shores of a winter river that has no ice, it's kind of, gray, right? That particular day it wasn't gray, but in general, a winter river is just sort of meandering through a grayish landscape. It's banal. It's not visually dramatic. And it occurred to me that very day that the worst possible thing is that it becomes normal to see a river without ice. It's becoming normal, and it is not normal. So I didn't know what to do. I'm all alone, I just take my camera and I tried to take a photo of this orange, metaphorically on fire river, but my hands were shaking. It was like click, 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 and each image was blurred, and I just deleted them all. So I started again. I tried to hold the camera, close to my chest to steady it, and my hands were shaking. And it was the strangest thing. It's never happened to me in 30 years of photography, that I couldn't stop my hands. And it suddenly dawned on me that my hands were shaking not because of the cold, but because of an anger, this deep, profound anger about our collective indifference in the face of climate breakdown. We're just carrying on with our lives as if, la la la, and nothing's bad's happening. So there was this sense of rage. Honestly, it's surprising how strong it is. Violent rage just sort of coming out of me. I wanted to scream. And I just, took my camera and I just moved it violently, right, left, up, down, and almost, I suppose it was almost like I was drowning in the water. My arms were just doing everything. And I was holding down the shutter the whole time. 20, 30, 40 photos at a time. And I did it over and I was just beside myself. And, at some point you just stop. And, you're staring out at the river. And I just felt helpless. I just didn't know what to do.
Thank you, Joan. Thank you for that story and for your work as an artist. What can we do about our collective indifference?